Hey, can I borrow your blue dress tonight? Laura's voice hit me from behind while I was folding laundry. She said it like she already knew I'd say yes. I didn't turn around. Which one? The one you wore to Ethan's birthday, she said, smiling in that way that made people give in without thinking. The one that fits like it was made for you. I looked at her. You mean the one that is mine? She rolled her eyes. Relax, I'll bring it back clean. Promise. My fingers brushed the soft fabric. What's the occasion? Dinner. A small thing with friends, she said too quickly. Friends? I repeated. Anyone I know? She shrugged. You don't know everyone I talk to. I smiled, pretending not to notice how her phone buzzed and how fast she turned it over. Right. You've been busy lately? Is that a problem? Her tone sharpened. I actually have a life. I sighed. No, it's not a problem. You sound jealous. Of what? I asked. You getting what you want all the time? Her lips curved. Maybe. I handed her the dress. Take it. She blinked, surprised. Just like that? Yeah, just like that. She grinned. You're the best sister ever. I smiled back, but my chest felt heavy. Yeah, I know. When she left, I sat on the edge of my bed staring at the empty hanger. The room was silent except for the soft hum of my old laptop. I opened the drawer and took out a tiny black device. The mic was no bigger than a button. I'd ordered it weeks ago out of curiosity, not because I planned to use it. But lately, Laura had been whispering into her phone, leaving the room when I entered, and smiling at texts she refused to explain. I told myself I wasn't paranoid. Just cautious. I turned the mic over in my palm, feeling its cool surface. You wanted to borrow the dress, I whispered. So now it's borrowed. I slid it into the lining, near the hem, careful not to leave a trace. I'd done it before for fun, recording late-night conversations, pranks, silly things. This time felt different. My hands trembled a little. When she came downstairs dressed in it, I almost forgot how to breathe. The fabric hugged her like it had been waiting for her. She looked perfect, and she knew it. You sure you don't mind? She asked, spinning in front of the mirror. I forced a smile. You look great. Maybe I'll finally get some attention tonight. She laughed. You already do, I muttered. What? She said. Nothing. Have fun. She grabbed her purse. You should come. I'm tired. You're always tired, she said, almost teasing. Maybe if you went out more, Ethan wouldn't... She stopped. Wouldn't what? I asked quietly. She looked away. Forget it. I'm just joking. I stared at her reflection. You're not good at lying. Her eyes flickered, but she didn't reply. She adjusted her earrings and smiled again, fake but flawless. Wish me luck. You don't need it, I said. You already have everything. She laughed softly and walked toward the door. Her perfume lingered long after she was gone, light and sharp. I stood there for a moment, still holding the empty hanger. My pulse thudded against my wrist. I sat by the window watching the street. The night swallowed her figure as she disappeared into a waiting car. I couldn't see who was driving, but the shadow looked familiar. Ethan had a similar car, dark silver with a dent near the left taillight. I told myself it was coincidence. Still, my stomach twisted. Hours passed. I couldn't focus on anything. The thought of her voice being recorded filled me with guilt, then curiosity, then guilt again. I told myself I'd delete it without listening. I didn't believe it. Around midnight, the house was quiet. I texted her. Home soon? She replied instantly. Yeah. Best night ever. I stared at the screen until it dimmed. When the front door opened half an hour later, she was humming. She kicked off her heels, tossed her purse on the couch, and spun once in the hallway mirror. "I killed it tonight," she whispered to herself. I stepped out of the kitchen. "You're back." She jumped. "Oh my God, you scared me." "You had fun?" She smiled. "More than I expected." "Good," I said. "I'm glad." She yawned. "I'm dead tired. Don't wait up." "Okay?" "Sure," I said. "Good night." "Night," she mumbled, walking away. I listened to her footsteps fade upstairs, then the soft creak of her door closing. I waited a full minute before moving. My hands felt cold, but my heartbeat quickened. I went to my desk, opened the small drawer, and took out the receiver. The green light blinked slowly. The mic had worked. I hesitated, thumb hovering over the play button. Curiosity burned through me, mixed with something darker. I wanted to know who she really was when I wasn't around. The silence in the house felt too deep. Even the clock ticked slower. I set the device down. "Tomorrow," I whispered. "I'll listen tomorrow." I crawled into bed but couldn't sleep. Every sound, the wind, the creak of the ceiling fan, felt like her laughter. I thought of Ethan, of his easy smile, of the way Lara had looked in that dress. Something ugly stirred in me. Maybe I'd been wrong to spy. Maybe not. But one thought wouldn't leave me. If she was hiding something, I would know. And once I knew, nothing would be the same again. When I woke up, sunlight poured through the blinds. Lara was already in the kitchen humming. The smell of coffee filled the air. "Morning," I said, keeping my tone even. She looked up with a wide grin. "Morning. Guess who had the best night ever?" I sat down. "You." "Obviously me," she said, pouring coffee. "Everyone loved me. I felt like a celebrity." I forced a small laugh. "Who was there?" "Just friends. A few people from work. You wouldn't know them." Her phone buzzed again. She turned it over fast, just like last night. I sipped my coffee. "You seem happy." "I am," she said. "It's been a while since I had fun like that." I smiled. "Glad to hear." She leaned over the counter. "You should have come. You need a break from your boring routine." "Maybe next time." She grinned. "You say that every time." "Maybe this time I mean it." She giggled, snatched her mug, and said, "I'm gonna nap. Don't wait up for me tonight either. I might go out again." "Who with?" She winked. "A friend." The word sat in the air like smoke. I didn't ask more. She disappeared down the hall, humming again. When the door to her room clicked shut, I stared at my coffee until it went cold. I waited for an hour, then another. When the house was silent, I went to my room and closed the door. My heart beat hard against my ribs. The recorder was still there, blinking softly like it had been waiting for me. I picked it up and whispered, "All right. Let's see." The first few minutes were nothing but laughter and background noise. Glasses clinking, music, her voice saying hi to people. Harmless. Then I heard him. "Ethan." My throat closed. He laughed. That easy, confident laugh I knew so well. "Ethan?" Lara said on the recording, her tone playful. "You actually came. You invited me," he replied. "How could I say no to you?" Lara laughed, soft and warm. "You shouldn't flirt. Your girlfriend might not like it." He said, "She's not here, is she?" My hand shook. They talked about random things, music, work. Then I heard her say, "Do you really like that dress?" He said, "Honestly, it looks better on you than it ever did on her." Something inside me cracked. Lara laughed again. "You're terrible." "I'm honest," he said. There was a pause. Then I heard the faint sound of fabric rustling. "Stop," she whispered, half laughing. He said something I couldn't make out. Then she giggled. "You're insane." My vision blurred. I pressed pause. My breath came too fast. I stared at the blinking light, wishing it would stop blinking, wishing it would undo what I'd just heard. But curiosity dragged me back. I pressed play again. He said, "You can't tell her." Lara replied, "I won't. She's too soft to handle it anyway." My ears rang. I pressed stop, then play again. Stop. Play. Stop. I kept repeating it like I could change the words if I heard them enough. By the fourth replay, I wasn't crying anymore. I was empty. I whispered, "You liar. Both of you." My room felt small, like the walls were listening. I picked up my phone and scrolled through our pictures. Me and Ethan laughing at the beach, his hand around my waist. Lara smiling beside us. Her smile was too bright now that I looked at it. Every image felt fake. I threw the phone onto the bed and stared at the recorder again. Their laughter filled my head. I pressed play one last time, forcing myself to listen to every second. Ethan said, "Don't worry, she'll never find out." Lara replied, "Even if she does, she won't believe it. She trusts me." He said, "Then let's make sure she keeps trusting you." Then came a soft sound. A kiss. I hit stop so hard the button clicked twice. The silence afterward hurt more than the words. I sat there, hugging my knees, listening to my heartbeat. I wanted to scream, but no sound came out. An hour passed before I realized I'd been sitting in the same spot, staring at nothing. My eyes burned, my throat ached. When Lara knocked on my door, I almost jumped. "You awake?" she asked. I forced my voice steady. "Yeah. You okay?" "Fine," I said. "Just tired." "You sure? You sound weird." "I'm fine." She lingered a second, then said, "Okay, I'm heading out again tonight. Don't wait up." "All right." She left. I locked the door and slid down to the floor. Her perfume still hung faintly in the hallway. I whispered, "You're unbelievable." I looked at the recorder again. I wanted to destroy it. But instead, I saved the file, labeling it with today's date. Part of me wanted proof. Another part wanted to forget. When I finally lay down, I felt hollow. The last thing I remembered before sleep was their voices, the way they laughed together, the way he said her name. When morning came, I didn't recognize myself in the mirror. My eyes were swollen, my face pale. I said softly, "You did this to yourself. You wanted to know the truth." But truth didn't feel freeing. It felt like poison. At breakfast, Lara looked at me, concerned. "You look awful." I forced a small smile. "Didn't sleep well." She laughed. "Maybe you should stop staying up all night reading those crime novels." "Maybe," I said. She poured juice and said, "Ethan texted you earlier. Something about lunch?" My hand tightened around the cup. "Right." "You should go," she said. "He misses you." I looked at her and said, "Yeah, I bet he does." She didn't notice the edge in my voice. She just smiled, innocent and bright. I smiled back, but inside, something had changed. Something cold had taken root. The girl who trusted everyone was gone. When I woke up, the first thing I felt was the ache behind my eyes. The second was the sound of Lara laughing in the kitchen. I pulled on a sweatshirt and walked out. "You're up early?" She turned, smiling. "Had to meet someone for brunch. Want coffee?" "Sure." She handed me a cup, eyes bright. "Ethan texted me last night. Said he might drop by later." I froze for half a second. "Really?" "Yeah. You guys okay? You've been distant." I shrugged. "We're fine." She sipped her coffee. "Good. He's a keeper." "Right." She tilted her head. "You sound weird." "I'm fine," I said again, smiling. "Just tired." She laughed. "You're always tired." "Must be from cleaning up after you." She giggled. "Fair." When she left, I sat there, staring at her empty chair. My hand shook when I lifted the mug. The smell of her perfume clung to the air like a ghost. By the time Ethan arrived, I'd built a perfect mask. He walked in, smiling. "Hey, beautiful." I kissed his cheek. "Hey, you okay? You sound off." "I'm fine, just had a long night." He touched my hair. "You're working too hard." "Maybe." He looked around. "Lara's not home?" "No." "Good. I wanted you to myself for a bit." His voice made my stomach turn. I forced a smile. "Lucky me." He grinned. "You're being sarcastic." "Am I?" He frowned. "You've been acting strange lately." "Strange how?" "Quiet. Distant. Like you're keeping something from me." I stared at him. "You'd know about that, wouldn't you?" He blinked. "What's that supposed to mean?" "Nothing. Forget it." He reached for my hand. "Hey, whatever it is, talk to me." I pulled back. I said it's nothing. He sighed. "Fine, but don't shut me out." I forced a smile. "Wouldn't dream of it." He smiled again, pretending everything was fine. I wondered if he practiced that look in the mirror like I did. After he left, Mia came over. She noticed my silence right away. "You look like you haven't slept in days," she said. "I'm fine." She sat beside me. "No, you're not." "What's going on?" I hesitated. "Just stress." "From what?" "Life." She frowned. "You're lying. I can tell." I looked down at my hands. "If I told you something, you'd think I was crazy." "Try me." I met her eyes. "You ever feel like the people closest to you are strangers?" "Yeah," she said softly. "When trust breaks." I nodded slowly. "Exactly." She studied me. "Is this about Ethan?" "No." "Then Lara?" "No." "Then what?" "Everything," I said. She sighed. "You've got to talk to someone." "I am." "You." "Then tell me the truth." I looked away. "Not yet." She didn't press. She just said, "Whatever it is, don't let it eat you alive." "I won't." When she left, I sat there for hours, listening to the ticking clock. My chest felt tight, but my mind was clear. I replayed the recording again that night. Their laughter sounded different now, softer, more practiced. It wasn't just betrayal. It was routine. I whispered to the darkness, "You lied so easily." My reflection in the dark window stared back at me. Lara came home past midnight. She tiptoed down the hall, thinking I was asleep. I opened my door quietly. "Fun night?" She jumped. "God, you scared me." "Sorry." She smiled awkwardly. "Yeah, it was fine." "Who'd you go with?" "Friends." "Which ones?" "You don't know them." I leaned against the doorway. "You keep saying that." She crossed her arms. "Why are you asking so many questions lately?" "Curious." "About what?" "You." Her tone sharpened. "You're acting weird." "Maybe you're just feeling guilty," I said before I could stop myself. Her eyes narrowed. "What's that supposed to mean?" "Nothing. Good night." She stepped closer. "No, say it." I smiled faintly. "Forget it." She glared. "You're impossible." "Maybe." She huffed and slammed her door. I stood there, my heart pounding. In the silence, I whispered to myself, "Just a little longer." Because I still didn't know what revenge meant, but I was starting to understand how it felt to plan it. Ethan called in the afternoon. "Dinner tonight?" I hesitated. "Sure." He laughed. That didn't sound excited. "I'm just tired," I said. "Pick me up at 7. When he arrived, he brought flowers. "For you," he said, handing them over. "They're nice," I said. "Thanks." He smiled. "You look beautiful." "Do I?" "Always." The restaurant he chose was quiet, candlelit. He held my hand across the table. I let him. "So," I said, "how's work?" "Busy," he said. "You?" "Same." We talked about meaningless things for a while. Then I leaned forward. You saw Lara lately? He froze for a moment, then smiled. Here and there. Why? Just curious. She's your sister, he said lightly. Why wouldn't I see her? I stirred my drink. Do you like her? He frowned. What kind of question is that? An honest one. He chuckled nervously. She's your sister, of course I like her. Don't be weird. I'm not, I said. I just want the truth. He met my eyes. The truth about what? About what's going on between you two. He leaned back. Nothing's going on. Why would you think that? I smiled faintly. Would you destroy someone who betrayed you? He blinked. What? I repeated. If someone betrayed you, what would you do? He looked confused. I don't know. Depends who it was. Someone close. He laughed softly. You're being dramatic. Answer the question. He sighed. Fine, I'd destroy them. Happy? I smiled. Very. He shook his head, uneasy. What's this about? Just a conversation. We ate in silence after that. He tried to change the topic, but I didn't. My appetite was gone. When he dropped me home, he kissed my forehead. You okay? Perfect, I said, and went inside. The moment the door closed, my hand started shaking. I went straight to Lara's room. Her phone was on the bed, charging. She was in the shower. I stared at it. Then I picked it up. The screen was unlocked. Her messages glowed like poison. Ethan. She didn't suspect a thing. Lara, told you, she trusts me too much. Ethan. You looked incredible last night. Lara. Don't say that here. Ethan. Then where? Lara. Soon. My chest burned. My fingers tightened around the phone. The bathroom door opened. Lara stepped out in a towel, humming. She froze when she saw me. What are you doing with my phone? I turned the screen toward her. Reading. Her face drained of color. Give it back. Why? I asked quietly. Because it's mine. Who's Ethan? She looked away. You already know. Say it. She crossed her arms. You're overreacting. Overreacting? My voice rose. You've been sneaking around with my boyfriend. It's not what you think, she said quickly. Then tell me what it is. She hesitated. It just happened. Right. Things just happen. She took a step forward. I didn't mean to hurt you. You didn't mean to? I laughed bitterly. You laughed about it. Her mouth opened, then closed. You heard? I met her eyes. Every word. She stared at me, speechless. Then she said softly, You recorded me? Yes. Her expression twisted. You spied on me? I trusted you, I said. You lied to me. She snapped. You had no right. I had every right, I shouted. You were sleeping with my boyfriend in my dress. Her hand shook. It was just one night. It was enough. She laughed suddenly, sharp and cold. You think he loves you? He doesn't. You're boring. You're predictable. The words hit like knives. You really believe that? I know it, she said. You should thank me for showing you who he really is. I slapped her. The sound echoed. She looked stunned for a second, then slapped me back. You don't get to hit me. I stepped closer. You took everything from me. Tears filled her eyes. I didn't take anything. He came to me. Because you wanted him to. She whispered. I'm sorry. No, you're not. She covered her face. You think this makes me happy? It doesn't. Our mother's voice came from the hallway. What's going on in here? We both froze. Mom stepped in, eyes wide. Why are you two screaming? Lara burst into tears. She hit me. Mom turned to me. Is that true? I said nothing. Mom shouted, What is wrong with you? I looked at Lara. Tell her why. Lara shook her head violently. Don't. Mom glared. Someone better start explaining. I walked past them both. Ask your perfect daughter. Mom called after me. Where are you going? Out, I said. My voice was calm now. Too calm. Lara sobbed behind me. Mom tried to comfort her. I stepped outside into the cold air. My hands were still shaking, but my mind was clear. For the first time, I felt something stronger than pain. Coldness. Pure and sharp. I whispered to myself, "This isn't over." I spent the next few days in silence. Lara avoided me, and Mom acted like nothing had happened. The house felt heavy, full of words no one wanted to say. When my phone buzzed, it was Ethan. "Ethan, can we talk?" I stared at the message for a long time before replying. "Me. Not now." He called right after. I let it ring. Then again. I turned off my phone. That night, Mia showed up. "You look like hell," she said. "Thanks," I muttered. "I mean it," she said, sitting on my bed. "You haven't texted in days. What's going on?" I hesitated, then said quietly, "Ethan cheated." Her eyes widened. "With who?" "My sister." Mia blinked. "Lara?" I nodded. She covered her mouth. "Oh my God, are you serious?" "I have proof," I said. "What kind of proof?" I reached into my drawer, pulled out the recorder, and pressed play. Ethan's voice filled the room. Lara's laughter followed. Mia sat frozen. When it ended, she whispered, "I can't believe this." "I can." "What are you going to do?" "I don't know yet." She leaned forward. "You should expose them. Post the recording. Let everyone know." I shook my head. Too easy. Too quick. They'd move on. "Then what?" "I want them to feel it," I said softly. "Like I did. Slowly." Mia frowned. "You're scaring me." "I'm not doing anything illegal," I said. "Just strategic." "What do you mean?" "You'll see." That night, I sat at my desk copying files from my phone, screenshots of messages, recordings, photos, each one labeled with a date. I backed them up twice. Every sound in the house made me tense. Around midnight, I texted Ethan, "Me, we need to talk." He replied instantly, "Ethan, finally, can I come over?" Me, "Tomorrow, meet me at the cafe near the park." When I met him, he looked tired but rehearsed. "You look beautiful," he said. "Don't," I said. He sighed. "I made a mistake. I was drunk. It didn't mean anything." I looked at him. "Do you think I'm stupid?" "No, I think you're angry. And you have every right to be." "You think saying sorry fixes it?" He shook his head. "No, but I can try." "You can't." He leaned forward. "Please, I'll do anything." "Then tell me the truth," I said. "How long has it been going on?" He swallowed hard. "A few weeks." I smiled coldly. "That's not what the messages say." He froze. "You saw them?" "Yes." He rubbed his face. "It's not what it looks like." I laughed quietly. "It's exactly what it looks like." People at nearby tables glanced at us. He lowered his voice. "I still love you." "No," I said. "You love attention." He looked desperate. "Please don't do anything stupid." "Like what?" "Like tell people." "Why not?" He hesitated. "Because it'll ruin me." I tilted my head. "Good." He grabbed my hand. "Don't. Please." I pulled away. "You should have thought about that before." He followed me outside. "You're not like this," he said. "You're kind." "Not anymore." I walked away, leaving him standing on the sidewalk. When I got home, I found Lara sitting on the couch scrolling through her phone. "Ethan texted me," she said quietly. "Of course he did." "He said you're mad." "Observation of the year." She sighed. "I want to fix things." "You can't fix betrayal." "I didn't mean for it to happen." "Stop saying that," I snapped. "You meant every second." She bit her lip. "You're not going to tell Mom, are you?" "Why? Scared she'll finally see who you are?" Tears welled in her eyes. "Please, I can't lose everything." "Everything?" I said. You mean your image? Call it whatever you want, she said. Just don't destroy me. I stared at her for a long time. Go to bed, Lara. When she left, I whispered to myself, you already destroyed yourself. The next morning, I created a new email account under a fake name. I attached the audio clip and one screenshot. Then I sent it to Ethan's boss. No subject line, no explanation. By noon, Ethan called 10 times. I didn't answer. In the evening, Mia came over again. You look calm, she said. I feel calm. What did you do? Just set things in motion. Meaning, you'll find out soon. The next day, Lara burst into my room, shaking. Did you tell someone? About what? Ethan's boss knows. He called him into a meeting. Someone sent the audio. I feigned surprise. Weird. She glared at me. You're lying. Maybe. Why are you doing this? You ruined my life, I said quietly. I'm just returning the favor. She started crying. You don't understand. I didn't love him. I just wanted what you had. And now? I hate myself, she said. Good, I whispered. That means it's working. She covered her face and sobbed. I watched her cry for a moment, then left the room. I didn't feel satisfaction. I didn't feel guilt either. Just emptiness. That night, I sat by the window looking at the dark street below. I whispered, almost done. But deep down, I knew it wasn't done at all. It had just started. Ethan showed up 3 days later, pounding on my door. Open up, he shouted. I stood there, staring at the door. Please, he said, voice shaking. We need to talk. When I opened it, he looked awful. His hair was messy, his shirt wrinkled. You sent it, didn't you? He said. I crossed my arms. Sent what? The recording. Maybe. His eyes widened. Do you realize what you've done? I lost my biggest client. I smiled faintly. Good. He stepped closer. You're proud of that? I didn't make you cheat, I said. You did that all by yourself. He ran a hand through his hair. You've changed. Finally noticed? He looked at me like he didn't recognize me. I never meant for it to go this far. It always goes this far, I said. You just thought you'd get away with it. He sighed. What do you want from me? Nothing. Then why are you doing this? Because I can. He clenched his jaw. You're enjoying this, aren't you? No, I said, but it feels fair. He stared at me for a long time. Then he said quietly, You're going to regret this. I stepped aside. Get out of my house, Ethan. He left without another word. When I turned, Lara was standing in the hallway. You really did it, she whispered. I warned you. She looked pale. He's ruined, and it's your fault. I laughed bitterly. My fault? You were part of it. I didn't ask you to destroy his career. You didn't have to. You just made it possible. Tears filled her eyes. You've gone too far. Not far enough, I said. She ran to her room and slammed the door. The next few days were chaos. Ethan kept calling. Lara stopped eating. Mom kept asking what was wrong, and I told her nothing. The silence in the house grew heavier each night. One evening, I heard yelling from Lara's room. I pressed my ear to the wall. You're blaming me? She shouted. Ethan's voice answered faintly. You told her something. I didn't. She's the one who sent it. You're supposed to control her. I can't control her. She hates me. Their voices tangled, sharp and fast. I recorded every second through the wall. When the argument ended, I played it back, listening to the cracks in their voices. Later, I sent a short audio clip of Ethan shouting to one of his coworkers. Someone I knew followed Lara on social media. I didn't attach a name, just wrote, Thought you should hear this. By morning, whispers had started online. People speculated. Comments spread. Lara came into my room that afternoon, trembling. You're ruining everything. Everything's already ruined, I said. Ethan won't even look at me. Maybe that's good for both of us. You're sick, she said. Maybe, I whispered. But you made me this way. She slapped me hard. You think this makes you strong? It doesn't. You're just as broken as me. I didn't react. Get out. She hesitated, then said, One day you'll regret this. Maybe, I said, but not today. After she left, I sat down and stared at my laptop. The folder with all the evidence sat on the screen, labeled Truth. I opened it, scrolling through the files. Each one was a memory I didn't want, but couldn't delete. That night, Mia called. Hey, she said softly. You okay? I'm fine. I heard some stuff online about Ethan, about Lara. I said nothing. Was that you? Maybe. She sighed. You've got to stop. It's over. It's not over until I say it's over. Listen to yourself, she said. You sound like them now. Her words stung. You don't understand. I do. You're hurting, but revenge won't fix it. I don't want to fix it. Then what do you want? I want them to feel what I felt, I said. She went quiet. And when they do? I don't know, she whispered. You'll lose yourself if you keep going. Maybe I already have. She didn't call again after that. 2 days later, Ethan showed up again, this time calmer. We need to end this, he said. Then stop calling me. I can't. I need closure. I laughed. Closure? You didn't think about that when you were kissing my sister. He looked down. I was weak. You still are. He sighed. I miss who you were. She's gone, I said. He looked at me with a mix of regret and pity. You're right. She is. When he left, I didn't watch him go. That night, Lara knocked softly on my door. Can we talk? I didn't answer. She came in anyway. Please, I'm sorry. Too late. I've been having panic attacks, she said. I can't sleep. I can't eat. That's unfortunate, I said coldly. Her voice broke. You hate me that much? I don't hate you, I said. I just don't care anymore. She started crying again. I'm your sister. Not anymore. She sobbed harder. Please stop this. I looked at her trembling hands, her red eyes, her cracked voice. For a moment, I almost felt sorry for her. Almost. Then I said quietly, You stopped being my sister when you pressed your lips against him. She covered her face and left. When the door closed, I sat alone in the dark, the house silent except for the faint ticking of the clock. I whispered, It's over. But I didn't believe it, because even after destroying everything, I still didn't feel free. Only empty. It was past midnight when I heard glass shatter downstairs. I rushed out of bed. Lara? No answer. The kitchen light was on. Lara sat on the floor, surrounded by shards of a broken bottle, eyes red, a half-empty glass beside her. Are you drunk? I asked. She looked up, laughing weakly. You care now. I knelt a few feet away. What are you doing? Celebrating, she said, her words slurred. Celebrating my perfect life. Put the glass down. Why? You already broke me. What's one more cut? I swallowed hard. Don't do this. She lifted her hand. You wanted me to feel pain, right? Well, here it is. Stop it, I said firmly. You win, she whispered. You always win. I didn't want this. She laughed bitterly. You wanted revenge. This is what it looks like. I just wanted the truth. You already had it, she said. You just wanted blood. I exhaled, my voice trembling. You think you didn't deserve consequences? I deserved forgiveness, she said. After what you did? Her eyes filled with tears. You think I don't hate myself already? I looked at the floor. You didn't seem to hate yourself when you were lying to me. I was stupid, she said. I thought he cared about me. He didn't. He just used me to hurt you. Congratulations, I said. It worked. She flinched. You're cruel. Maybe. She pushed herself up, swaying. I wish you'd never found out. I whispered. I wish I hadn't either. She stumbled toward me and grabbed my arm. Do you even love me anymore? I looked at her, her face streaked with tears. I don't know. She broke then, crying into my shoulder. I'm sorry. Please, just stop hating me. I stood there, stiff, unsure if I should hold her or push her away. I don't hate you, I said finally. But I can't forgive you. She pulled back, wiping her face. Then what do you want from me? Nothing. She laughed again, hollow and broken. That's worse than hate. I helped her sit down, picked up the broken glass and threw it away. The smell of wine filled the room. Go to bed, I said softly. She shook her head. You wanted this, my misery, my guilt. You finally got it. I said nothing. She whispered, You can stop now. I looked at her, then at the floor. I don't know how. She stared at me for a long time, then said, That's the saddest thing I've ever heard. She stood slowly and walked away, leaving the glass crunching under her bare feet. When I went back to my room, my heart felt heavy. I opened my laptop and hovered over the truth folder again. Delete. My finger hesitated over the key. Then I pressed it. One by one, the files disappeared. The screen went blank. For the first time in weeks, I didn't feel anger, just exhaustion. The next day, I blocked Ethan's number. No message, no warning, just silence. Mia texted me later that evening. Mia, how are you holding up? Me, tired. Mia, did you end it? Me, almost. She replied. Be careful you don't destroy yourself in the process. I stared at the message for a long time before putting the phone away. That night, Lara knocked on my door again. Come in, I said quietly. She stepped inside, her voice soft. I'm leaving tomorrow. Where? Mom's friend offered me a place to stay. I nodded. That's good. She looked at me with swollen eyes. Is it? You need space, I said. We both do. She sat on the edge of the bed. Do you ever think we'll be okay again? I don't know, I said honestly. Maybe someday. She smiled sadly. You sound like Mom. Guess she rubbed off on me. She laughed weakly, then went quiet. I miss how we used to be. So do I. Then why does it feel like you're still punishing me? Because part of me still wants to, I said. She nodded slowly. At least you're honest. We sat in silence for a long time. When she stood to leave, she looked back at me. You got your revenge, she said softly, but it won't bring you peace. I met her eyes. Maybe not, but it gave me control. She whispered, Control isn't healing. Then she left. I sat there in the dark, staring at the empty doorway. Her words echoed in my head. Control isn't healing. I whispered to myself, Then what is? No answer came. Only the sound of rain against the window. For the first time in weeks, I felt the weight of everything I'd done pressing down on me. I'd destroyed them. But I'd destroyed myself too. Lara left the next morning. Her suitcase thumped down the stairs. I stood by the doorway. You packed everything? She nodded. Yeah. Mom hovered nearby, pretending not to notice the tension. Text me when you get there, she told Lara. Lara gave a faint smile. Sure. When she turned to me, she hesitated. You're not going to say goodbye? I already did, I said. Her eyes glistened. I meant properly. I sighed. Take care of yourself. She whispered, You too. Then she was gone. The silence that followed was strange, almost peaceful. Mom avoided me all day, slamming cupboards a little louder than usual. That night, I walked through the quiet house, touching the walls like I could still feel the echoes of our fights. My phone buzzed. Ethan, can we talk one last time? I stared at the message. Then I typed, fine. We met at a small park near downtown. The air smelled like rain. He was waiting on a bench, hands in his pockets. You came, he said softly. I shouldn't have, I said. He looked exhausted. I lost everything. My job, my reputation, even you. I folded my arms. You did that to yourself. He nodded. I know, but I need to tell you something. Then talk. I loved you, he said. I still do. I laughed once. Don't. It's true, he said. What happened with Lara was a mistake. A mistake that lasted weeks. He looked down. I thought she cared about me. I was wrong. You were both wrong, I said. You thought betrayal could stay hidden forever. He sighed. I ruined everything. I said quietly, you didn't ruin it. You exposed it. He looked at me like he didn't understand. What does that mean? It means you showed me who you really are, who she really is, and who I can't be anymore. He reached for my hand, but I stepped back. Don't, I said. His voice broke. I never wanted to lose you. You already did. He whispered. Is there any way back? No. He nodded slowly. Then I'll go. Good, I said. He turned to leave, then stopped. You were the best thing in my life. I didn't answer. When he walked away, I didn't look back. I stood there alone, the city lights blurring through tears I didn't want to shed. Back home, I sat at my desk and opened a blank document. Words spilled out before I could stop them. Lara, I don't know if you'll ever read this. I wanted to destroy you. Maybe I did. But I also wanted to protect you once. I don't know when love turned into hate, or when hate became the only thing keeping me awake. I'm sorry. Not for what I did, but for what I became because of it. I paused, then kept writing. You were my sister before you were my rival. I hope one day, when we're older, we can remember each other without anger. Maybe that's enough. I signed it with my name, folded the paper, and slipped it into a drawer beside the broken mic. Mom knocked on my door. You okay? I'm fine. You've barely eaten, she said softly. I'm not hungry. She sighed. Lara texted me. She got there safely. Good. She hesitated. She said she misses you. I looked away. She shouldn't, Mom whispered. Your sisters. That doesn't just disappear. Maybe it should, I said. She closed the door without another word. I sat in silence, staring at the drawer where the letter rested. I didn't know if I'd ever send it. For the first time, the revenge felt distant, like something I'd watched someone else do. The house creaked. My phone stayed silent. I whispered to the darkness, I'm done. But part of me knew I wasn't. Not yet. Months passed. The house felt bigger without Lara. Mom and I spoke less. We lived around each other like ghosts. Every morning, I stared at the same cup of coffee, cold before I finished it. Some days, I forgot what day it was. At work, people smiled at me. I smiled back. No one saw through it. Mia called one afternoon. You sound better, she said. I'm trying, I told her. You deserve peace, she said. Are you getting it? Not yet, I said. She was quiet. You'll get there. I don't know if I believe that, I said. You will, she said softly. Eventually. After the call, I walked through the park near my office, the same one where I'd last seen Ethan. The benches were wet from rain. I sat anyway. Across the street, a couple laughed together, holding hands. I couldn't look at them for long. I whispered, I used to laugh like that. The wind carried my voice away. A week later, I ran into Ethan by accident. I was leaving a cafe and he was standing by the door holding a coffee. He froze. "Hey." I didn't move. "Hey." "You look different," he said. "I am." He smiled weakly. "You cut your hair." "Yeah. It suits you." "Don't," I said quietly. He looked down. I wasn't going to say anything else. "You already said everything," I told him. He nodded slowly. "You're right." There was an awkward silence. Then he said, "I heard about Lara. She's back in town." "She visits Mom sometimes," I said. "She talked to you?" "No." "That's sad." "It's quiet," I said. He studied me for a moment. "I'm sorry again." "I mean that." "I know." He sighed. "You ever think about what could have been?" I shook my head. "I think about what was." "That's enough." He nodded. "Take care of yourself." "I already am." When he left, I didn't look back. I stood there for a long time, staring at the spot where he'd been. That night, Mia texted. "Mia, did you see him?" Me. "Yeah." Mia. "How'd it feel?" Me. "Like talking to a stranger." Mia. "That's progress." I smiled at that. Progress. Maybe she was right. Weeks turned into months. Work filled my days. Silence filled my nights. Sometimes I caught myself reaching for the old recorder, though I'd deleted everything. Habit, maybe? Once, I dreamed of that night again. The sound of their laughter. In the dream, I pressed play, but instead of hearing them, I heard myself whispering, "Stop." I woke up crying. The next morning, Mom joined me at breakfast. "Lara called," she said quietly. I looked up. "Oh?" "She's doing better. New job." "New place. Good for her." Mom hesitated. "She asked about you." "What did you tell her?" "That you're fine." "I am." "She wants to talk someday," Mom said. I stared at my plate. Someday isn't today. Mom nodded slowly. "I know." We ate in silence after that. Later that evening, I walked through my room, touching the empty surfaces. I'd cleared everything months ago, the files, the photos, the reminders. Still, the air carried ghosts. I whispered, "You got what you wanted." But it didn't sound convincing. The truth was, revenge had stopped feeling like victory. It felt like a wound that refused to close. Mia visited one weekend. She looked around my room. "It's clean," she said. "I like quiet now." "Or maybe you're hiding from noise." I smiled faintly. "Maybe." She sat beside me. "You've come a long way." "Have I?" "You're not angry anymore." "I'm tired, not healed." She nodded. "That's still something." I looked at her. "Do you think people like us ever really move on?" "Only if we stop looking back," she said. I thought about that long after she left. Later that night, I stood by the window watching the city lights flicker. The world outside kept moving, uncaring, endless. I whispered, "I'm still here." And for the first time, it didn't sound like a confession. It sounded like a promise. It was late when I found the old recorder again. I was cleaning my desk, sorting through drawers that hadn't been touched in months. It sat there under a stack of papers, small and silent. I picked it up. The red light blinked once when I pressed the power button. I whispered, "Still alive, huh?" The last time I'd touched it, I was someone else. Angry, desperate, hungry for payback. Now I just wanted peace. I hesitated before pressing play. For a few seconds there was static. Then a sound I didn't expect filled the room. It was me. Not Lara. Not Ethan. Me, crying, breathing hard, whispering things I couldn't even remember saying. "No one sees me," my voice said between sobs. "No one hears me." I froze. My own voice felt foreign, weak, broken. I pressed pause, then play again. "Why do they get to be happy?" my voice whispered. Why do I have to be the one who breaks? I covered my mouth, heart pounding. I'd forgotten this part. The night I planted the mic, I must have hit record before she even left. I sat there listening to myself unravel, word by word. After a while, I whispered, "You sound pathetic." But another part of me, the quiet part, felt sorry. The door creaked open. Mom stood there. "You're still up?" "Couldn't sleep," I said. She noticed the recorder in my hand. "That again?" "Yeah." She walked closer. "You should throw it away." I was thinking about it. She looked at me for a moment. "Does it still hurt?" "Sometimes," I said. She sat beside me. "You know, I kept expecting you and Lara to fix things, but maybe some things just stay broken." I nodded slowly. "She called again, didn't she?" "She did," Mom said softly. "She asked if you're okay." "I'm getting there." Mom smiled faintly. "That's enough for now." We sat in silence. The faint hum of the fridge echoed through the house. After she left, I stared at the recorder again. I pressed play one last time. My voice came back, softer this time. "You'll be okay," it said. "Even if no one believes it yet." I didn't remember saying that, but I sounded certain. I whispered to the empty room, "You were right." The blinking light reflected in the window. Outside, rain tapped against the glass, steady and calm. I thought about Lara, about Ethan, about everything that used to make my chest tighten. It didn't anymore. Maybe that was healing, not forgetting, not forgiving. Just no longer bleeding when I remembered. My phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number. "Lara, I heard you started painting again. That makes me happy." I stared at the screen for a long time. Then I typed back, "Thanks." Nothing else. No apology. No closure. Just 2 words. Enough. I set the phone down and looked at the recorder. My thumb hovered over delete. For a moment, I hesitated. Then I pressed it. The red light flashed twice, then turned off. I whispered, "No more recordings." The words echoed softly in the quiet room. I leaned back, eyes closed. For the first time in a long while, I didn't feel angry or guilty, just tired but light. I thought about the girl I used to be, the one who cried into a microphone because no one was listening. "I hear you now," I said softly. Outside, thunder rolled far away, soft and distant. I smiled. The house felt still, peaceful, almost new. I turned off the light and lay in bed. My mind was clear. For once, I didn't replay memories, didn't analyze old words, didn't wonder what if. I just breathed. And as the night deepened, I realized the silence wasn't empty anymore. It was calm. When I finally drifted to sleep, the last thought I had was simple. It's over. Not like a door slamming shut, but like a window opening quietly after a storm.